Kroger is everywhere. They've got over 2,000 stores across the country. For a lot of us, it's where we shop without thinking twice. You walk in, grab dinner, trust the labels, trust the dates, trust that someone behind the scenes is making sure the food is handled right. That trust is the whole problem. Because when you talk to people who actually work there, or used to, the story sounds very different. They see what gets reworked, what gets relabeled, what quietly moves from one department to another when it's about to expire. And once you hear those stories, it's hard to unhear them. And the real issue is, it's not just one item. It's not one bad department. These are patterns. The same shortcuts showing up over and over, especially with foods meant to save you time. So today, we're counting down 10 foods Kroger employees quietly skip when they shop for their own families. These aren't guesses. These are first-hand experiences from people who handled this food before it ever hit your cart. Stick around. The deeper we go, the clearer the pattern becomes. Number 10. Pre-made sushi.
Kroger has apparently become the biggest seller of sushi in the U.S. I saw this.
Anyone who's ever shopped at Kroger's refrigerated section has probably come across the pre-made sushi rolls. I know it seems like an easy grab for a quick meal, but here's the thing. Kroger doesn't even make this sushi. It comes from third-party vendors who ship it pre-packaged, sometimes sitting in those cases for days. Now, the real kicker, the rice is nothing like what you'd expect. It's hard, it's dry, and when sushi rice sits too long, it loses texture fast. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is the fish. A lot of it is previously frozen and then thawed. And in case you don't know, the clock starts ticking as soon as a fish thaws. Now imagine rolls sitting around for way too long. And let's not forget the temperature swings. Every time the case door opens, the temperature shifts, which speeds up bacterial growth. Employee takeaway. They wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Number 9. Sliced to order deli meat. This one feels safe. You stand there, you watch them slice it. It feels fresher than grabbing a sealed package from the cooler. That feeling is misleading. Employees talk a lot about the slicers. They're supposed to be deep cleaned on a schedule. In reality, during busy hours, it's usually a quick wipe. Turkey goes on the same machine that just sliced ham. Then salami, then roast beef, whatever's next in line. The dates change too. Big deli logs arrive with original production dates. Once they're sliced, new sell-by dates get applied based on store rules, not how old that meat actually is. By the afternoon, workers are scraping together end pieces to finish orders. Quality drops fast as the day goes on. Glove changes sound good on paper. In real life, gloves touch phones, counters, money, then go right back to the slicer. Employee takeaway. They skip the deli counter and buy pre-packaged meat instead. Number 8. Deli pasta salads and cold deli bowls. The pasta salads and deli bowls look harmless, to be honest. They're cold, sealed, and just sitting there like the safest option in the case. But this is where a lot of employees draw the line. Cold deli items are all about time. How long they've been sitting, how often they're rotated, and whether old product gets cleared out or quietly topped off. Employees say topping off happens more than people realize. Fresh product goes on top, older product stays underneath, out of sight. These foods are also handled a lot. Scooped, repackaged, moved from prep tables to the case. Each step adds time and exposure. And unlike hot food, there's no heat step at the end to bail anyone out. In 2025, this category became a real problem when deli pasta salads were pulled during a listeria investigation. For employees, that wasn't surprising. It matched what they'd seen for years. Employee takeaway. They skip cold deli bowls completely. If it's meant to be eaten cold and ready, they don't trust it. Number 7. Bakery fresh-baked donuts and pastries. This section smells amazing. It's hands down arguably the all-time favorite section at Kroger. But the problem is, that sweet, yummy smell is all part of the trick. You see, those donuts and pastries look like they came straight out of the oven. The glossy glaze alone is enough to have you hooked. But employees say most of that baking happened long before you walked in. A lot of these items arrive frozen. They get thawed overnight, finished early in the morning, then put out for the rush. By the time most people grab one, it's already hours old. By the afternoon, it's pushing half a day. What happens next is where it gets uncomfortable. Unsold pastries don't always disappear, they get repackaged, sometimes mixed into variety boxes. Extra glaze or toppings help cover dryness and staleness. Then there's cross-contact. The same trays, the same tools, nut items, non-nut items, all handled close together. Employee takeaway. They skip the bakery case and buy pastries elsewhere. Number 6. Manager Special Ground Beef. That bright red discount sticker feels like a win. Cheaper ground beef, same dinner plans. No big difference, right? Employees say this is where a lot of corners get cut. Manager Special ground beef usually starts as meat that didn't sell in time. Cuts nearing their date get ground up instead of tossed. Once it's ground, the original age disappears. A new label goes on. A new date shows up. It looks fresh again. Grinding also hides things customers would notice on a steak. Slight discoloration, texture changes, even smell. Mix it all together and those red flags get harder to spot. Employees also talk about the grinders themselves. Different meats go through them all day. Cleaning happens, but not always the way the manual says, especially when lines are long. Temperature matters too. Meat sits out during grinding and packaging longer than people think. Employee takeaway. They skip manager specials and buy sealed, branded ground beef instead. Number 5. Hot Bar, Hot Case Foods. This is the section that feels like dinner solved. Fried chicken, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, everything hot, everything ready. Employees say this area is where time gets stretched the most. Food goes out hot and sits there for hours. During slow stretches, the heat gets turned down. Not off, just lower. Enough to keep it warm, not enough to keep it safe. When the day ends, a lot of that food does not get tossed. It gets cooled, wrapped up, and brought back the next day to be reheated. That heat up and cool down cycle matters. It gives bacteria chances to grow. Add in shared utensils and customers mixing spoons between trays, and things get messy fast. Ingredient quality is another issue. Hot bar food often uses whatever needs to move. Meat that is close. Vegetables that are tired. Labels stay vague so customers never see the full picture. Employee takeaway. They avoid the hot case completely and make food at home instead. Number 4. Pre-cut fruit cups. These feel like the healthy choice. Clear container, bright colors, fruit that's already washed and cut. Easy win. Employees see a different story. A lot of pre-cut fruit starts as produce that didn't sell fast enough on its own. Berries with soft spots, melon that's a little too ripe, apples with bruises that can be trimmed away. Once it's chopped, those flaws disappear. The cutting usually happens in bulk, early in the shift. Everything gets packaged and dated, then sits for days in grab-and-go coolers that open constantly. That temperature swing matters more than people think. So does the liquid pooling at the bottom. That juice isn't freshness, it's breakdown. Cleaning plays a role too. Knives and cutting boards move from fruit to fruit with quick rinses, not deep cleans. Employee takeaway. They buy whole fruit instead and cut it themselves at home. Number 3. Fresh seafood counter fish. If you've been to the seafood section at Kroger's, you'll know just how much every fish case sells confidence. The way the fish are laid out, like they just came off a boat, is enough to believe they're very fresh. Well, they aren't. According to employees, most of these fish weren't fresh to begin with. A large portion arrives frozen. It gets thawed in the store so it can be sold at the counter. That alone isn't the issue. It's how fast the thaw happens and how long the fish sits after. When stores are busy, thawing gets rushed. Once it's in the case, the clock keeps running. Smell becomes the giveaway. Truly fresh fish barely smells at all. Employees say that fishy odor hanging around the counter is a sign that things have been sitting too long. The ice looks reassuring, but it's mostly for display. The case stays open. Temperatures drift. Dates get adjusted to keep the product out longer. Employee takeaway. They avoid the seafood counter and buy frozen fish with sealed packaging instead. Number 2. Sushi grade fish. This label sounds premium. Sushi grade. It feels like a step up. Like someone took extra care with this one. But coming from employees, that label doesn't mean much. There's no official standard behind it. No special inspection. No separate handling. Most of the time, it's the same fish from the regular seafood case, just cut differently and priced higher. Same gloves, same cutting boards, same case, same clock ticking. Fish meant to be eaten raw has a short window once it's thawed. Employees say that window gets stretched. Product sits because it's expensive and moves slower. When it doesn't sell, dates get pushed. Not always tossed. Cross-contact is another problem. That fish is handled right next to shellfish and other seafood all day. Cleaning happens, but not between every cut when the counter's busy. Employee takeaway. They don't buy raw fish at Kroger. Not for sushi, not for poke, not at any price. Number 1. Rotisserie chicken. This is the one employees talk about the most. The dinner shortcut. The thing people grab without thinking because it feels hot, fresh, and safe. Behind the scenes, it's usually anything but. A lot of rotisserie chickens start as raw birds that didn't sell fast enough in the meat department. When they're getting close to their date, they don't always get tossed. They get cooked. Once that skin turns golden, the clock resets in people's minds. Cooking isn't always consistent either. Ovens get crowded. Timers get missed. Some birds come out dry. Others barely make it. After that, they sit in warmers far longer than most people realize, especially during slow hours. When they still don't sell, the story doesn't end. That chicken gets pulled apart and turned into chicken salad, pot pies, or other prepared foods the next day. Raw and cooked chicken move through the same space all day, and that creates risks. Employee takeaway. They never buy rotisserie chicken. Not for dinner, not for leftovers, unless they absolutely have to. By now, a pattern should be pretty clear. This isn't about one bad item or one careless employee. It's about how food moves when a store is this big. Dating gets flexible. Near expiration items get second lives. Departments overlap. Shortcuts show up when things get busy or understaffed. And the foods meant to save you time are usually the ones taking the biggest hits. That's why employees shop differently than customers. They buy whole foods. They pick sealed packages. They skip anything that's been reheated, repackaged, or quietly relabeled. Not because they're paranoid, because they've seen what happens before the doors open and after the rush clears. None of this means Kroger is evil. It means the system rewards speed and waste reduction more than people realize. And once you know that, you can shop smarter without overthinking every aisle. If one of these items surprised you, say which one in the comments. Chances are someone else had the same reaction. If this helped you see grocery shopping a little differently, hit like and stick around. We break down what's really happening behind the food you buy every week.